Hello, good morning and welcome to News Desk. Sad day for the Apeatse community in the western region following the loss of 13 people in an explosion there. 178 have been affected. But this morning, the survivors are making a passionate appeal for support. Meanwhile, the Minister for Land and Natural Resources has assured persons whose actions may have resulted in the explosion will be held to account when investigations are concluded. We'll be live on the ground where the Vice President is leading a government delegation to ascertain the situation on the ground. And later, Council of Zongo Chiefs warns it will expose politicians and opinion leaders who unduly interfere in police efforts to clamp down on the violent gangs fomenting trouble in Nima and Mamubi. We have details as the Economic Fighters League charges the police to focus on serving justice to win back public trust. We have all this and more. My name is Apeatse. Thank you for choosing us. It's a sad day for the people of Apeatse in the western region who have lost their kinsman to explosion that happened in the middle of the Bogose-Wadi Road. At least 13 people have died and 59 others have been injured. Police say it is collaborating with other first responders to bring relief to survivors and the community. Reporters say a designated mine explosive truck carrying explosives was crossed by a tricycle and went underneath the explosive truck. I'm taking you live to the western region. My colleague Inathala Kwanzaa joins me with more. Ina, what has the Vice been saying?
Yes, Mafetso. So the Vice President has expressed condolence to victims who have lost their lives and to the families. He says that the government will make sure that those people who have lost their houses will have a new house, meaning they will build a new house for these people. But for the meantime, they will bring them relief items, which he has instructed the NADMO coordinator and then the MCU to make sure that these victims are safe. They have the needed relief items so that they will feel comfortable. For now, he's done inspecting the Apeatse community. He's moving to the St. Michael parish to look at the displaced victims there.
Ina, you also spoke to Regional Minister. Bring us up to speed on that conversation.
Yes, Mafisa. So the Regional Minister was basically saying the same thing as the Vice President. He also said that the Regional Coordinating Council and the Regional Security Council will make sure that they have the needed comfort they need the displaced victims, and then they will make sure that all the victims who are deceased now are given a befitting burial.
All right, now let's talk about the victims. You've been speaking to some of them. What have they been saying?
Yes, Mafisa. So the victims, some of them have been telling me about how the fire ignited and then exploded. The van carrying the explosive exploded into their house, even though they were not part of the people who had gone to watch. Some of them also told me that those people we saw in the video who were approaching the explosive, all of them died because they had gone closer to it. They are expecting that individuals, government, assist them as possible as they can.
Ina, are you still with me?
Yes, Mafisa.
Yeah, so has not...
Mafisa, I'm listening.
Yeah, so has NABO begun the distribution of the relief items?
Can you come again?
Has NADMO begun the distribution of relief items?
Yes, so they started for those at the St. Michael parish. They started sharing some items to them, and then individuals within Bogoso also have come there with several relief items. This morning, some of them brought food to them. Some of them brought clothing to them as well. The IGP has also been here, been inspection and taking briefings from police on the ground. The whole community is with high security. There is police presence, there is military presence, and also fire service.
And we understand that the chiefs have been making some appeal. What have they been saying?
That's what people. So they said that anyone that can help them, anyone that can assist them with anything, because some of them they couldn't even take a cent from their house. For example, Kwame Mensah, the man I spoke to, he said he got to the parish with a torn clothes until someone gave him a shirt and a top. So they are asking Ghanaians who can assist them anyway to come to their aid.
Okay, so the police have also been talking.
No, the police have not spoken yet.
Okay, all right. Okay, so that's my colleague Inathala Konsa giving us an update. So we do know that right now it's 13 people who have died and not 17 as earlier reported, right? All right, it seems like we have lost Inathala Konsa there. But the Ghana Police Service went live on their Facebook page, and they did say that 13 people had died instead of the 17 earlier reported. Vice President Baumia and his government delegation is on site, and they have checked everything and trying to ascertain the situation. Also, Joy News in Athala Konsa has been speaking to some survivors and displaced residents who have been kept in a makeshift camp at the Bogoso St. Michael Parish Hall. Before we take a quick breather, let's just do a recap of that explosion. 13 people have died. The vice president is on site and he's promising to rebuild homes. And the president directs State Housing Corporation to put up a facility for the people. And they'll also go into a meeting to figure out the lessons learned, and that will be implemented. You're still watching Joy News Desk. I'm going to take a quick break. I'll be back with more. You're still watching Joy News Desk with me, Apeatse CBD, still in the western region. This morning, the Lands and Natural Resources Minister spoke to us on the Super Morning Show to commiserate with the people and ascertain the situation on the ground. So let's listen to Mr. Abu Jinapo.
Commiserate with the bereaved families and also sympathize with the injured. The focus of government now, I think, are in twofold. The first is to provide some relief, and I know that NADMO has been working overnight to be able to send some relief to the displaced people and also care for the injured. And the second is to assemble the preliminary facts. The Ghana Police Service, the Ghana Fire Service, and of course the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, working through the Minerals Commission and the Inspectorate Division of the Minerals Commission, is working to assemble the initial facts so we get to understand what are the one, the very basic facts. What caused this? Under what circumstances did this accident occur? And thereafter, I believe the broader inquiry can come in. But I think first of all, we need to concern ourselves. We are going to concern ourselves with the efficiency, the extent of the relief effort. That's very important. And then also the injured and the circumstances of the injured, and generally commensurate to the community, and be able to get a briefing from officials of the security agencies who are on the ground and working, where they've gotten to with their work and what is the state of affairs. So this is really an initial step by the government on the instructions of the president and led by the vice president himself. The Minister for Interior is a member of the team, myself, the Minister for Information, and several other government officials. But as we speak, the security agencies are already on the ground. NADMO is on the ground, and they are crisscrossing and making sure that all the interventions which ought to be made are made. And this visit, I believe, is going to ascertain what is the state of affairs on the ground.
He also assured the outcome of investigations to be conducted by the Minerals Commission will be implemented to the letter.
The regulatory mandate a bit diverse. There's a bit of it under the police, a bit of it under the Minerals Commission. But I think it's early days yet. Any further comment I make beyond the fact that investigations or preliminary investigations are being conducted, and when the facts are assembled, the government will take the necessary steps. Will be prejudicial. I mean, if I was to say, for instance, that the rules were not adhered to, or that they were adhered to, that would be totally prejudicial. So I think at this stage, we all will have to be a little more patient and then allow the police, the fire service, and the Minerals Commission to conduct these initial investigations. And I believe in a matter of days, not weeks, we will be able to come to a firm conclusion as to what happened.
As we speak, are there actually more explosives being transported, hopefully safely, to other mines across the country?
When it comes to large-scale mining operations, the use of explosives is very integral, especially underground mining. And so the question as to how pervasive or how widespread it is, it will be as widespread as we have large-scale mining operations. But I'm not too sure that the use of explosive for mining per se ought to be the issue. It is how they are transported, how they are handled, and the general regulatory framework within which such explosives are used. And that is exactly the reason for the investigation.
Now, I'm wondering if that investigation reveals that any of the blame can be laid on the doorstep of regulatory failure, what action will you and your ministry take?
Let's wait for the outcome of the investigation. But if, like you say, if it turn out that way, people have to answer for their commissions and omissions. A big if.
Okay.
I think it's that straightforward. Because all of us have our respective responsibilities and duties to perform. And if at any stage it is found that any one of us haven't performed our duties correctly and it's occasioned this kind of loss, I believe that the honorable thing to do is for us to face the ramifications of our actions.
Lands and Natural Resources Minister Abujina Pode. Now, Communications Director of the Tirano Mines, Kwabena Osu Ampretrum, has commiserated with the people and announced the company's resolve to support efforts to provide relief.
Yes, Tirano Mines, and you understand that the National Disaster Management Organization, they are best positioned to deal with this disaster. So we are going to support them. And of course, processes have already begun to support them with relief items and other things that they need to be able to take care of the injured and also to be able to handle the deceased and console the families of the deceased. there's a full support from our outfit to all the agencies that are dealing with it to make sure that the people that are involved are amicably well taken care of. We've been briefed and we've already started internal investigations and we have all the details. But as you will agree with me, we are working on that information, and at the right time, we'll come out with what we believe. For now, we will not be able to divulge that information. The information that we can put out there is what the police has put out there. For our internal investigations and our dealings with Maxim, I believe that we cannot put it out right now for, of course, other corporate responsibility reasons. But then it will not be right that we haven't been talking with them. As we speak right now, we are still engaging with Maxim, we are still engaging with all the other regulatory authorities to make sure that things are settled. So yes, we are in talks with them and we will brief the media and other stakeholders on the information that will come out later.
Since the incident, Bogoso has been trending on Twitter. President Akufo-Addo, former President John Dramani have tweeted. This one is from President Nana Akufo-Addo, who says, "I have just received a briefing on the circumstances that led to explosion in Apeatse near Bogoso in the western region, resulting in the loss of lives and the destruction of properties belonging to residents." So that was tweeted at 5:30 p.m. And former President John Dramani Mahama says, "A truly sad day for Ghana. My deepest condolences to the families of the victims of the unfortunate disaster at Apeatse in the Bogoso district of the Western region this afternoon. Let's pray for the speedy recovery of the injured as we also urge the security and emergency services to continue to work assiduously to alleviate the damage and suffering in the affected communities." This one is from Information Minister Kojo Nkrumah, who says, "Tonight our thoughts and prayers are with families and survivors and victims of the explosion near Bogoso. We also pray God continues to protect them." When the explosion happened, the Ghana Police Service put out this emergency public notice, which reads, "A huge explosion occurred this afternoon, Thursday, January 20, 2022, at Apeatse between Bogoso and Borde in the eastern region." You know that you can go to our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram page. We are Joy News on TV to also join the conversation on the Bogoso. And it is trending at number 2 right now. Let's see what people are saying. So this one is from @Sir_Ken, who says, "We're saddened by the explosion at Apeatse near Bogoso yesterday, but I keep quizzing. Why are we so interested in rushing to scenes? Even a disaster like this, just to capture for social media. All right, let's educate ourselves in times like this." @Samuel Koku Anyedoho says, "This Bogoso explosion is extremely catastrophic. Our version of Sharon Ball. My heart weeps." Kwame says, "The explosion in Apeatse near Bogoso is a tragic one, and my prayers go to the families that have lost lives and properties as a result of this unfortunate incident. Accidents do happen, but our sense of safety in this country is appalling. We have a long way to go." #Joy SMS @Real Natalie Fort said, "Keep the people of Bogoso in your prayers." @Amnesty Ghana also tweeted this. "Amnesty International Ghana sympathizes with the community and people of Bogoso, Apeatse, following yesterday's explosion resulting in the reported death of dozens of people and several injuries." Prince David Asay, actor Prince David Asay, "Mercy Lord," said, "God comfort the families of Bogoso gas explosion. May the injured recover speedily and the dead rest well." Sandra Ankovia says, "Praying for the people of Bogoso." We'll bring you more updates in our subsequent bulletins. Now let's go to Nima, where the Council of Zongo Chiefs in Ayawaso is warning it will expose all politicians and opinion leaders who unduly interfere in efforts by the police to clamp down on violent gangs who went in trouble in Nima and Mamobi. According to the council, some influential people within the community have been intervening to prevent the arrest and detention of some of the gang members. They say this is a major factor that is fueling the continuous issues of gangsterism in the area. Alhaji Moro Baba Isa is chairman of the Ayawaso Council of Zongo Chiefs.
But you realize that when a group of people have been wronged, or a crime has been committed against someone, and the police are not able to deliver justice, or the community is not able to deliver justice, these people tend to their gang, knowing well that this gang will go and deliver the justice they want, and stood for a truth and eye. So you realize that even in prosperous economies, like in America, we can't say that the gangs or mafias were because of unemployment. No, it was.
In the past, the police have been showing concern about the attitude and behavior of some community leaders, chiefs, imams, ulamas, opinion leaders, political parties, including their work. They are interfering with their work. But I don't think any serious police officer will allow himself or herself to be influenced by anybody, because there's a code of ethics which guides his work. I quote, it could be an excuse, no excuse, to say that this big man or that being has hindered me from working. Where is your code of ethics? The code of ethics must prevail. It is never an excuse. The committee will never take that as an excuse to say that because of interference of the leadership, and that is why we are not. Mr. Chairman, the law will deal with people who interfere with the work of the police officer or officers. What we are saying is that we must also know whether you are a chief, you are imam, you are honorable member of you don't have a right to interfere with the work of the police.
Meanwhile, the Economic Fighters League is charging the Ghana Police Service to focus on serving justice to win back the trust of the public. Here's its head of projects and enterprise development at the Economic Fighters League, lawyer Regina Amega.
But you realize that when a group of people have been wronged, or a crime has been committed against someone, and the police are not able to deliver justice, or the community is not able to deliver justice, these people tend to their gang, knowing well that this gang will go and deliver the justice they want, and stood for a truth and eye. So you realize that even in prosperous economies, like in America, we can't say that the gangs or mafias were because of unemployment. No, it was because they were not getting the justice due them. Most of the Italian mafias, you go in there and you realize that it's because they didn't trust the police system. They didn't trust the court system. They didn't trust that the society or the community in which they were in could give them the justice they wanted. So the people believe that there's an authority that will be able to deliver justice for them. If the first gang who might have been wrong, so that the police will step in and right wrong, or the community machinery will step in and right wrong, do you think they would have retaliated? No. So what is the psyche of the people is what we have to look at. You can have 2,000 or 1 million economic intervention, but if the people do not trust the system delivering it, if the people do not trust the whole justice delivery in their communities, they will always run back to the guns. You can disband these guns today, give them economic activity to engage in, but when an issue comes that demands justice and you're not able to meet that threshold, they run back to the guns because they believe that that is where they're able to get their response from. So aside the fact that the Zongo Development Authority and all are doing extremely well, they need to partner with the Ghana police to be able to measure and then change the psyche of the people. That is where we have to start the conversation.
Stability and safety of the entire system. The central bank announced on Wednesday that beginning July this year, the national ID card will be the only form of identification to aid financial transactions. There are fears that this could affect financial inclusion as more persons are yet to get their Ghana card. We have been engaging the reaction of the public.
Since this particular card is the card that is containing everything, I think using it for the financial transactions, I mean, it's going to be something that will help. If everything is integrated into one, it means everything each individual is doing is being monitored. On the other hand, it's something that currently is going to bring a little struggle, but with time, we will become normal with it.
I don't think there's any problem with it. But the problem here is about 70% of Ghanaians don't have it. So, and the period they've given is too short. And you know, most people are doing other people's jobs. You're an employee, so how do you leave your job and then go and form a queue? The best thing is to, they say they have offices, but I don't think it is working. People travel from far places, come to Accra for their cards, which is wrong. July is too short, it's too close. What are we rushing for? You can give ourselves 1 year, that's 12 months, or even 2 years. This is our country.
In terms of Ghana can buy no, na me ye jume bi. Inte juma no ya mache na me ko juma no. A mache so na esa line no. Inte me sala mache me ko me ba na ya ye wi anta na me ba. Se no. Almost o me Ghana kan u me hia. Na me so me ni bi. Esa me ni abre pass me still me gusu ejuma no. Ba still so me ya me sala mache ko sa line. The massage wa be no ya ye bi ho. But ho no kwa ya hwe wanu ma. In my
view, it will curb fraud in the finance sector and all that, both within the banking, the financial sectors themselves, and people who even do it from outside. But in my view, I think that they should have started with putting together all the identities that we have, like all the identifications that we have, like the NHIS, the voter ID and all that, all should be put into one.
I have applied one, still I haven't gotten it almost a year now. I have my digital address. You can easily make a delivery. If you think you have my, you really capture my data, there's no need for me coming to Chiachi there, come to queue over there. If, for instance, I don't have the card, I can't make it. At least I have relatives who have one, who can do it on my behalf. So if I get it or I don't get it, it wouldn't affect me.
Royalties from the quarrying and construction sectors will see some significant boost this year as another source of income for the country. This is an assurance from the Chief Executive of the Minerals Income Investment Fund, Edward Nana Yao-Kranting, who believes that proceeds from the sector have been woefully inadequate. Speaking to Joy Business, Mr. Kranting said the Minerals Income Investment Fund will pay critical attention to the sector this year to rake in the desired revenue.
No cracks in the, apart from a lot of emphasis is on the gold royalties, but you're looking at minerals. So examples, even granite are actually minerals. You're looking at silver, you're looking at manganese, you're looking at limestone. These are all areas that MEF has to concentrate on. We don't have really much of a problem with the large gold mining producers. I think they are in line with their payments or their royalties, but Ghana is losing a lot from the other minerals. So, for example, if you look at the quarrying sector, royalties that we collected was about 2.8 million, and as you're well aware, quarrying has a direct correlation with construction and with economic development. So looking at you align that with an ASEP report in 2021, which says that even in the worst case scenario, Ghana should be bringing in about 28 million from the quarry sector alone in terms of royalties, but we're just bringing in 2.8 million. So there's a wide gap. So these are areas that we need to concentrate on.
President Akufo-Addo has assured public universities in the country that government will initiate policies and programs to enhance the capacity of graduates from tertiary institutions to contribute to the socio-economic development of the country. He noted that with the establishment of the Simon Daidong Dombo University, which has the mandate to train students on research, business and other related areas, it will mold them to achieve higher education through creativity, entrepreneurship and innovation. President Akufo-Addo gave the assurance at the investiture of the first Vice-Chancellor and swearing in of the first Registrar. Joy News Upper West Regional Correspondent Rafiq Salam reports.
The Simon Daidong University of Business and Integrated Development Studies, SDDU-based, formerly the Wa campus of the University for Development Studies, was established in 2019 by an Act of Parliament 1001 and came into being in May 2021. The act that establishes SDDU-based mandates it to be an outstanding international acclaimed applied research and practical-oriented educational institution dedicated to the development of business and integrated development studies and related matters. Professor Philip Duku Osai and Job Asante were appointed as the maiden Vice-Chancellor and Registrar respectively. In line with the tradition and norms of universities, they need to be properly clothed to enable them to execute their mandate, hence their investiture and swearing in. Chairman of the Governing Council of SDDU-based, Kweku Yamua Pencil, had the onerous responsibility. The duo was first roped with the academic gown, later lay their hands on a borrowed Holy Bible and swore two oaths, oath of office and secrecy.
Hereby invest you into this office in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Ghost.
Professor Philip Duku Osai thanked the President for the appointment and then opened up on the myriad of challenges facing the university, including the $100 million seed capital promise, but which is yet to see the light of the day.
These are the huge infrastructure gap and the foundation or seed money that His Excellency promised us at the start of operations of this university. We actually need about $100 million to bring about the infrastructure, both physical and electronic.
The SDDU-based Vice-Chancellor has this response from President Akufo-Addo, who was a special guest of honor.
I'm aware that the matter of the seed capital has still not been resolved. I'm in active discussions with the Minister for Finance on the issue, and I'd hoped that by now it would have been addressed. Let me assure you by my presence here today that it will be done very soon, as well as the completion of the library complex. I doubt, however, that in the current circumstances of our public finance, whether we can produce at one go $100 million.
President Akufo-Addo assured the people of the country of the commitment of the government to initiate policies and programs to enhance the capacity of graduates from tertiary institutions to contribute to the socio-economic transformation of the country.
It is my expectation and hope that this university, established to provide higher education, disseminate knowledge related to development in business and development studies, undertake research, and foster relations with persons and entities outside this institution, will produce graduates who are molded to take on the opportunities and possibilities for higher achievement through creativity, entrepreneurship, and innovation.
Abound at the campus of SDDU-based are several structures that have been abandoned by the contractors. One of such projects is this one, which is supposed to serve as a library for the university.
You're still watching Joy News Desk, and I'm here with my other favorite person, but don't tell Muftau, Spiky. How you doing?
I'm good, Mavs. How are you?
I'm okay, thank you. What do we have today for Tech Talk? I understand there's a new phone being released.
Yes. So people who love the Samsung Note will be relieved because last year we heard rumors that a Note line was being discontinued by Samsung.
Okay.
And there's been leaks that the S22 that's being launched next month will have the S Pen just like the Note of years before.
Okay.
Yes, so now you have the S22 Ultra replacing the Note, but then the regular S22 and S22 Plus being the normal versions of the phone. So as you can see on the screen, S22 Ultra is going to be the new Note. There's not going to be a Note line anymore. There's going to be the S22 Ultra with the S Pen. We saw this coming with S21 Ultra supporting the S Pen. But that's the leak design. That's what we were expecting. Samsung hasn't confirmed that's what it's going to look like, but all the leakers say, hey, we know this is what it's going to look like, so we're looking forward to that.
Yeah, and I understand that you'll be taking me to the Samsung launch when it happens. When they launch that phone, I know I'll be your plus one, right?
Yes.
Exactly. All right. So crypto, what's happening in the crypto world?
Yes. So, there's a company called crypto.com, cryptocurrencies.com, so crypto.com, and their new blog posts have confirmed that 4,836 Ethereum and 443 Bitcoin have been stolen by hackers.
So 400 and what?
4,836 Ethereum.
Ethereum. And okay, for people who don't know what Ethereum is, can you tell them?
So Ethereum is a cryptocurrency, just like Bitcoin. It's like the second most valuable one.
Okay.
And yeah, hackers have stolen that much, and it's worth $30 million. That's how much in crypto has been stolen from crypto.com.
But I thought crypto was supposed to be this safe and secure and unhackable, if there's such a word like that.
No, there's nothing that's not hackable.
Yeah.
But yeah, they can steal it. What it was before was that it was untraceable. It was
untraceable.
People can't make duplicate transactions and stuff.
Okay.
Because of how the blockchain is structured.
Yeah.
So because of the way the blockchain is, I can't do a transaction and it wouldn't be confirmed, and you would have a different version.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean people can't steal your crypto. If I have your password, I can steal your crypto.
So now that they've stolen that amount, are they able to use it?
Oh yes, they can.
They can?
Yeah, they can. You've stolen the money, they can use it.
Oh wow, I see. All right.
It's unfortunate, but yeah.
Okay, and our last story in the world of tech is
Microsoft is acquiring Activision, which is a game developer, for $69 billion.
Oh, that's a lot.
That is a lot of money. Now, that is very interesting because Activision has been one of the biggest game development companies for a very long time. Anybody who plays games knows about Activision.
Okay.
And this is Microsoft's bid to get into the metaverse. I mean, we've all heard about
it. Okay,
Gaming has become a very big thing in the world now. People are playing. When COVID hit, that's when we realized how important, gaming was.
Gaming,
because, you had people, for instance, F1, you had people racing virtual F1 and all that. And it threw a spotlight on esports.
I see.
And games like Call of Duty and all that, those all belong to Activision, and Microsoft is buying this company.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and that's a huge thing. Now there's a concern though. Sony, makers of PlayStation, are concerned because their major rival is Microsoft, who owns Xbox.
So if they acquire these rights, it's going to be like taking over. So
Sony has already lost about $20 billion in stocks. And they're worried, so they are telling Microsoft, "Please, are you going to keep the games on PlayStation?"
Okay.
So please don't take those games.
Please don't take them. Okay, so top 3 things happening in the world of tech.
Yes.
Samsung is releasing a S22 cryptocurrency, a huge amount.
$30 million.
$30 million has been stolen, and
Microsoft is acquiring Activision, and Sony is begging them, please don't take the games off PlayStation.
All right, talking about games, up next is sports. All right, my favorite person, Muftau, is here. Forget about Spiky. Muftau, what are we doing?
He's number 2.
He's number 2.
I'm number 1.
That's right. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you two?
I'm cool. What's happening today?
So today we are likely to have a clear picture on the future of Milovan Rajvac, as whether he will stay on his role as head coach of the Black Stars or not, who determined when the GFA meets the Ministry of Youth and Sports. What we can report is that the GFA does not want him sacked.
Okay.
But the ministry wants him sacked. It has become the position of government that Milovan Rajvaj must be fired. Actually, they had actually even prepared a statement to sack Milovan Rajvaj on Tuesday after that defeat.
Oh, wow.
But the ministry was advised that it will amount to interfering in the job of the Ghana Football Association. So they are suggested that the GFA should come for a meeting for them to discuss the future of Milovan Rajvaj. So at this point, it is the ministry's meeting with the GFA that will determine whether Milo will stay or not. But the management committee of the GFA on Wednesday asked the coach to present his technical report to the committee latest by next week, Monday, before they will forward it to the executive committee to determine whether he will stay on us or not. But today, we are likely to have a clear picture on what's likely to happen. It has become the position of government that Milo should be fired. They are looking at replacing Milovan Rajvaj with Ibrahim Tanko as an interim coach to oversee Ghana's qualification in the next 2 phases of the World Cup qualifiers, which is going to be the second round. We'll have a very clear picture of who is going to be Ghana's opponent after the draw is done. Today, that is a draw for the African Cup of Nations 2023. When they are done with that, they'll also do the draw for the last round of the World Cup qualifiers.
Okay, and talking about government, this whole them interfering in like the decision making is also some sort of a reason people say that that's why our Black Stars are not going anywhere. Yes, no?
You see, sometimes it's quite difficult because as a government who invests in the national team, it is a team that millions of fans have invested their emotions in. The government is supposed to represent the interests of the people. And if they understand that the atmosphere surrounding the game shows that it was a coaching problem, they would always want to determine. Moreover, they make the payment. They decide how much they pay. I had mentioned here a couple of days ago that we need to be willing to invest. The government has not invested, but they always want to demand high results. If you're not getting the high results and you're still paying, maybe you have to take a difficult decision, and that difficult decision will be that let's fire him and bring maybe a better one. The better one is Ibrahim Tanko. We cannot tell until he takes over the job. All right.
Talking about investments and paying out, you said how much if Milo gets sacked?
$270,000.
All right. So if Milovan gets sacked, he has to be paid $270,000 US dollars. Yes. Okay. Okay.
But if he decides to resign, he'll pay the GFA $200,000.
Oh, then you didn't tell me about that part. You didn't tell me about that one. Oh, so that's why he said that I'm taking the boys to the World Cup. Yeah, okay.
If he has to walk away from the job, he'll pay the GFA $200,000.
Ah, I didn't know that part. Okay.
It is part of the contract.
Oh, I see. All right. So from my favorite person, Muftau, and I, that's how we wrap up Joy News Desk. For more news, you can log into myjoyonline.com. My name is Mapitso Sibidi. Enjoy the rest of your day.